Welcome to Lunch with Biggie, a podcast about small business and creatives sharing their stories and inspiring you. My guests today are bringing in real-life single events to Orlando, where a friend can showcase their awesome single friends in a short slide deck at local bars and breweries for other singles to meet. Please welcome your hosts of Pitch a Friend Orlando, Kelsey Fuller, Elena Vaamonde, and Jordan Owen. What's going on, guys?
Hello.
Hey, what's going on?
Thank you guys all for coming on. I really appreciate it. I always love to ask the question, what's your go-to lunch or sandwich?
I mean, I can jump off right off the bat. As a person of habit, I like to eat the same thing every week, and probably 3 or 4 times a week is the grilled chicken Caesar wrap from Sideward Brewing. I mean, that is my jam, and I think that is my go-to anytime I'm in Orlando.
Okay. Elena, Kelsey?
Yeah. My go-to sandwich is a bit simpler than that. It's a nice homemade hard salami and provolone cheese sandwich. That's what I have for lunch at work almost every day. I love it. It's great. That's been one of my favorites for a while now.
What kind of bread?
I'm a white kind of bread. Usually we get the Wonder Bread, or sometimes I get the like a potato loaf kind of situation.
Okay. Kelsey, what about you?
I like an Italian sandwich, but pressed. So it's hot and the cheese is all melty.
So I know Pitch a Friend started in Philadelphia in 2022, and I know it's been in 50 US cities and 12 international cities. That's all great. What I care about is I want to know about Orlando. So how did it start? What was the evolution that said, Kelsey, you said, I want to bring this to Orlando. Tell me a little bit about that origin story about how you guys brought Pitch a Friend to Orlando.
Yeah. I had a friend that was staying with me, and she was talking about that. She was like, oh, I wish that there was some more events where singles could mix, but it's not so stuffy as like a speed dating. And I had just heard about it. I'd just seen ads for it before. I knew it existed other places. And I was like, I've heard of this thing called Pitch a Friend. I was like, let's look up and see if there's any Pitch a Friend events in Orlando. And there wasn't, because it hadn't existed in Orlando yet. And she looked at me and she was like, you should start this. You would love it. You'd be so good at it. And I was like, okay. So I sent the inquiry on the website. And then the next day I had the call with Melissa, who started it in Philadelphia. And our energies totally aligned. We were very on the same page of why we cared about it and why we think that it's really a fun thing to do. So we made it happen and brought it to Orlando, and it all happened pretty quickly. So it was really great.
How quick from the time that you guys spoke about it to the time that you guys did your first Pitch a Friend?
It was about 2 months, I think. So there's a bit of a ramp up period, and then talking to different bars and venues and getting somebody to want to buy into something that I don't have any proof is successful in Orlando yet. So shout out to Gravity Tap Room for being our first people in downtown Orlando that really believed in the concept and was willing to be a guinea pig. And it was great. Our first event was a hit, and we've done several events with them since. So it's been really great.
So Kelsey, I know you started it, but obviously Elena and Jordan are here. So tell me a little bit about how they got involved and how that process kind of went. And then once you do that, I have no problem if the three of you guys want to tell me a little bit about like what they can expect and what exactly is Pitch a Friend.
Yeah. So Jordan, I had known from hosting trivia and things like that. And I was like, if anybody, I'm not a person that loves to be center of attention. I don't need to hold a microphone. I don't need to be the one that all eyes are on me, but I like facilitating and I like the purpose and the mission behind the event like that. So I'm happy to organize it and kind of be the behind the scenes. And when I was thinking about who would be a good person that loves the mic and is great at bringing up the energy of a crowd and really just enjoys that and gets a lot of energy from it himself, I was like, it's got to be Jordan. So I reached out to Jordan. I was like, would you want to be involved in this crazy thing? And he was like, Kelsey, yes. So I was very happy that you wanted to be involved, Jordan.
And then how did Elena get involved?
So then when we were planning our first event, the date that worked with Gravity Tap Room, Jordan happened to be in Iceland out of town. So he was like, but I have a great alternative for you. Elena's been really well received by all of the trivia goers, and is just also really good at captivating an audience, and just being like fun and approachable and just good energy. So he was like, I think she would be a really good fit for you for the first event. So then Elena got roped into it all, and and now we're a happy little trio.
And then when you guys do the event, is it Jordan and Elena both like co-hosting, or is it you guys take turns hosting? How does that usually work?
It started as I was going to host, and then Elena filled in, but quickly she fits the vibe of the show. And I put a lot of trivia shows together, and I have always had my hands on the backside of it. So it's quickly turned into Kelsey's running the social media and the communications with the bar. Elena is the main stage host of, running around with the singles and walking from table to table, and I'm just there keeping ops, right? Making sure the mics are on, making sure all the back end stuff's working, and then keeping us on schedule, as well as maybe if I have an idea to throw around, just because sometimes you need to throw a curveball into an event, and so I'm there to kind of keep a calming voice. But Elena's definitely the one on the microphone, making sure everybody's happy at all times.
And he's great at DJing and the walk up songs and getting people like really hyped, and just generally hyping as well. Like just having somebody else that is in the crowd that's just like really cheering people on and stuff. That energy is infectious.
Yeah, no, it's super important. Elena, can you tell people, since you're kind of like the one hosting it, tell people a little bit about, like, if someone bumps into you and goes, Elena, what the heck is Pitch a Friend? What's the elevator pitch, and what they can expect if they were to attend the event?
Yeah, so a lot of times my elevator pitch, as someone who was also just recently on the dating apps and been dating out there, and it really is just everyone's in the trenches. It's bad. So, and also you always see such amazing people that are single, and you get confused as to why they aren't dating somebody. So my elevator pitch is always, if you have a friend or a loved one, or you yourself want to get off of those apps but want to actually put yourself up there, Pitch a Friend is a great event to do that, because you are literally having people sign up to pitch someone that they love dearly. And who better to do that? They always have the greatest points, the greatest pictures, the like funny anecdotes that really get you to get to know a person. So Pitch a Friend is great for wanting to get off those apps and get with people all in a room that actually want to go out on dates and want something real, and not just a really weird like 6-month situationship that kind of leaves you empty and desperate and like, I'm never gonna date again. So this gives a completely different vibe. It makes it way more fun, way more relaxed, and just kind of meeting people who are on the same page as you, hopefully.
How many people usually get pitched during a course of an event?
So when we first started, we were only getting 3 to 5 pitches, and these events we tried to make them last around 2 hours. So at the beginning we were using a lot of good music, a lot of like chit chat time and games. But now we are getting to our max, which is 10 people. And sometimes if we're not careful, accidentally like an 11th person slips on there. So we are right now at capacity, where we have at least 10 pitches going on, and at least like, I would say like a good 50 plus people attending these events.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Mm-hmm. And then the demographics of the people getting pitched. Do you see more females or males? What do you typically guys usually see?
So in the 10 pitches, usually we have 1 or 2 men that get presented and the rest are women. However, the amount of people that come to watch and to chit chat and mingle, there's a lot of men out in the crowd. So there is a good demographic, a good like 50-50. But the people who are actually getting presented are a lot of women. So if you guys are listening to this and you have a good guy you want to go pitch, definitely sign him up, because the ladies are there, and they are great ladies, great choosings, great pickings, if I must say so myself.
What do you guys think you've enjoyed the most from doing these events?
I mean, I think it's a celebration of people. I think we all get in this because we love people. And same thing for you. I think you like being inquisitive and finding out things, and just as much of not even the singles part of it, but just watching people showcase somebody they love. And it honestly has become more of that anyway. It's just become a celebration of people, and people get into it and start cheering for the person, whoever's getting pitched. And, we had one guy almost get carried out on his shoulders the first time we did Windermere Brewing. So, I mean, it's been more or less a fun way of just showcasing people around Orlando. And I think a lot of people have made friends out of it, even if they haven't made, dating partners. It seems like it's bringing a lot of people together. I think that's the most fun.
It is cute when friends get made from it, because people will just say like, oh, like that, like it'll be like a girl that just like sees another girl that sounds really fun and kind of has similar interests and stuff, and she's like, I just want to be her friend, like that sounds cool, and we'll connect them. And it's really cute to see when that happens too. It's just, you just bring like-minded people together and you find shared interests, and it's nice.
I think for me as well, but also one of my favorite parts is seeing the actual presentations made and how people are presenting their friends. I think some of the funnest ones have been either the ones that are very well curated, very colorful, the presentation obviously made on Canva. There was always like visually nice to look at, but one of my favorite ones was just white screen, black text, SWOT analysis of why you should date my friend. And that one was hysterical when they break it down in that kind of business outlook.
No,
The
I
SWOT
love that. And
analysis
that's,
is so funny.
what was that? It's like, I love the fact that it allows for creativity. And obviously and it's one of those where you kind of have like, you may have a friend who's phenomenal at, doing those things. And then you may have a team of friends that may have to be help you pitch. One creates the fun slides. Then you got the extrovert who's the wing person that can actually, hype up the friend when it comes to it. But that's gotta be so much fun. I've been wanting to go. And I know that when you go, you do get stickers, right? To kind of be able to label, to know who's single and ready to mingle and maybe who's just there to watch. Is that correct?
Yeah. So if you want to go, like, you just wouldn't wear a sticker, so nobody would think that you were single. So you would be safe from from those conversations.
That's perfect. How difficult, Kelsey? I know you said you've had a few places, and I know that you guys kind of travel around now since you guys started in November of 2025. How difficult was it in the beginning to get to like find places and get the word out, and to be able to find places that say, yeah, I'd love to do this event or have pitch a friend here at my location?
It was surprisingly pretty quick. Because it is a known thing, then there was already people that had expressed interest, that they had reached out on the main Pitch a Friend website, that had filled out some sort of inquiry form of like, if this comes to Orlando, please notify me. So we already had like 6 or 8 bars that had been just kind of interested in knowing more if it came to Orlando. So then once it did, then we reached out to them all, and then they were like, okay, yeah, let's do it. So, and then once we had our first event at Gravity Tap Room and it went so well, and we could actually see what a real event would look like and show that as proof kind of product to different bars and things, then people really wanted to be involved. And it's just been growing from there, because it's just been every event we've gotten a little bit better. We've learned something different. Every event's a little bit better than the last. So bars are seeing that and they really want to get involved.
Heck yeah. How often are you guys doing them?
Like 2 to 3 times a month right now. Yeah.
That is a lot of work, by the way, to do that. I know, because I love the fact that there's a few of you and you guys are doing it, because I know for a fact, because I used to do something called a sandwich eat up event. So I used to go and eat at different sandwich shops around the city. I would do one every month, and it was always difficult, one, to find a place, to then have like the collaboration, the social, try to get the word out, all those type of things. So I definitely understand, that's very difficult especially when you're doing more than one, to try to do it. But I also figure your popularity, because I did notice originally it probably started out once a month, and then the popularity probably grew, that you're like, hey, we got to do this more often, which I think is great.
Yeah. We had a couple influencers come to some of our events a little bit earlier on, and that was just great, because it was very organic. Like, they were just really sweet girls that were like, I love what you're doing here. I want to spread the word. And they brought out their group of friends and everything. And then they were nice enough to put it out on their socials, and then it just exploded from there. So that was really huge and helpful. So
yeah. One of the, and I know one of them actually, because I actually sent a DM to her and told her about Pitch a Friend. Chantal and Mel. They were, I think they're in your video of about and all that stuff on your highlights. And the day I told her, she's like, yeah, I'm actually doing that tonight. And I was like, because I sent her the thing and I was like, hey, you should totally do this. And she was like, oh no, I am doing it. And she's like, I'm actually getting pitched. I was like, this is amazing. So no, I totally love that. All right. So I want to talk about, I know you guys do. I figured this is a good way. So in case anyone's listening and they're getting excited about this, you guys play this game called, obviously red flag, green flag. I want you to give me red flag, green flag. We're not going to play the game where I'm going to tell you what it is and you give me a red flag. I figured this will be a good way of telling people like red flag, green flags of how to pitch a friend. What are some red flags and what are some green flags that you recommend if you were to go and pitch a friend?
Yeah, I think I'm going to start with the green flags, the positives. I think green flags are just being enthusiastic about pitching your friend is a great green flag, because if people see how much and how excited you love somebody, they are going to be like, oh, that's a great person. Like, look how excited they're getting. Green flags highlight qualities, good qualities that you think really make them stand out, specifically unique qualities, things that really, set them apart from other people. Maybe not just is athletic, but maybe specify which kind of sport to help form deeper connections and good conversation points.
I think the biggest green flag is not taking it too seriously. I mean, that is the people that like, we had one guy that on his pitch deck, it said the Haitian sensation. And he was the most fun, he was the most fun. They had like 2 or 3 people pitching him, and they brought like another green flag. Hey, make some noise if like your friends, even if you're one of the friends in like the group, make some noise for your friends getting pitched, because people honestly do feed off the energy you give them. So like, red flag is the exact opposite of taking it too seriously and just like being stoic. And the people who have the most fun with it honestly get the best response out of the crowd. So like, be warm to the crowd and the crowd will be warm to you back.
Yeah, definitely. And I think also another red flag is, while you are wanting to list their qualities, maybe don't fixate on their actual bad qualities. Like, don't be like, yeah, but by the way, they're a horrible cook, they're a really bad texter. Like, you're never going to get a response from that. A lot of times people do kind of flip it and turn it into like a cute joke. And that does go more towards the green side, because it's like, you know what? You might get a paragraph long text, but guess what? They texted you back. So it's kind of like that, in the sense of don't take things too seriously when you're like, okay, but watch out because this is not good.
What about you, Kelsey? You have any red flag, green flags?
I think it's a green when people bring a lot of people. Like, I think it's really cute when people roll up with their whole crew and they're all there to support them, whether they're in the crowd and, like Jordan said, like making a lot of noise, or if they are all doing the presentation together. Like, I think it's really sweet when there's multiple people all doing a presentation. There was one like that a few weeks ago that it was literally like 6 people, and they were just all passing the mic, and they had a different segment to talk about why this person was awesome, and it was just adorable. Yeah. So
I know I was gonna say that was actually my friend group that we had pitched my friend. All of us spent like 2 evenings together putting his PowerPoint together, and then I kind of introduced him and gave him, vouched for him, said, ladies, this is a good one, trust me, I'm friends with him. And then my 6 friends, they all just stood in a line and we kept passing the microphone, and it was very sweet. They all mentioned on how they had met Ryan and why they kind of fell in love with Ryan as a friend. So it was good to hear a perspective from everyone in his life that's close to him at the moment.
That's awesome. That is definitely the way. Like, I totally love the fact of the whole concept of this, because who better knows you and better to hype you than your friend. And I think that's so important. And one of the other reasons why I wanted to have you guys on was because, and I'm seeing a huge trend, and I'm kind of curious, especially since Elena and Jordan, you guys do a lot of things in public, in real life type stuff. Can we talk about the need for more in real life events for people to meet? Because Kelsey, you brought it up. It's yourself. Like, these events, even though it is, yes, to meet singles, it is very hard to meet other friends. and to do these events. So can we talk a little bit about the importance of these in real life events, of actually intermingling and actually meeting other individuals?
I think people are just craving that so much. Like everything exists on your phone, on an app, you're swiping or you're just looking at people's profiles or whatever. But it's so nice to actually feel somebody's energy, but in a still low key environment. It's not as strict as like a speed dating event where there's a strict schedule and there's a way that it has to go. It's still very fluid. So it's still encouraging people to be themselves and to mingle and kind of just be themselves. And it's just really, it's nice to see that.
I mean, I think so. Elena hosts trivia, and I host trivia, and then we do pitch a friend. And I think the thing that we've set, and I think needs to be more of, is just the vibe of inclusivity, right? And I think that's Elena literally shows up from day one at Pitch a Friend. Is like, hey, if you're not nice, if you're not, this is meant to bring people together and not to create any kind of backlash. And people that immediately, that one kind of quote or second that she gives kind of lets the weight off everybody's shoulders. And it's so fun to see, like, I'm a huge nerd, right? I want to go be around more nerds, and it's just fun when I find a little bit more of that. You get to be a little bit more free, and I think people, like Kelsey said, are just itching for it, and I want to keep going with Pitch a Friend, and that's why I've done trivia in the beginning. Is it just brings a ton of people together and creates a community, and I think it's going to be huge in the next 5 years to keep going with that, something like that.
Yeah, I also agree. I feel though, and not to bring it up, but since the pandemic, I think people, especially in my age group, it's like I graduated high school in 2020. So I went into college and I went into my early adult years off of that wave of the pandemic. And I do believe that we kind of lost how to socialize a little bit. And I think things like trivia and Pitch a Friend are, and stay with me, are good structured events to like force people to socialize in a guided way. Like we do so much to have everyone up and interacting with each other in a way that's like, oh, you wouldn't have spoken next to the person next to you unless I had gotten you up on your seat and started doing an activity with you. So it's the same thing with trivia. On multiple occasions, I've had to put people sitting at the same table because we ran out of space. And I'm like, bam, you're now a team. It was like guided socialization and helping people kind of, like Jordan said, get that weight off their shoulders and be like, oh, this is fine. This is normal. Like, we're okay. We can hang out and have fun and meet new people. And it's not stressful.
Yeah, no.
Because people want to. They just don't know how. So it takes somebody like Elena saying, okay, get up and go ask the person next to you this question.
Yeah.
And it works.
Yeah.
We play.
Mm-hmm. I think even one time at Pitch a Friend, there was at Windermere Brewing Company, the first time we had went, I saw a group of guys just kind of hanging out with each other, but they all had stickers on saying that they were single. So I walked over and I was like, so have you guys talked to any girls? They're like, no, like we got nervous. So I just said, okay, what's your name? What's your name? What's your name? Grabbed one of their hands, dragged them to a table, and I said, hello, ladies, this is so-and-so, so-and-so, and so-and-so. Have a conversation.
We play another fun game too that also gets people talking with each other called Pick a Side. And then we'll give people prompts and they have to choose. So there's 2 different prompts and they literally have to get up and vote with their bodies and move to either side of the room, whichever one that they're voting for. And then it's fun because it separates people from the groups that they came with. And then they could be standing next to somebody that they're like, that they might think is cute. And then they're like, oh, we clearly have shared opinions on this things. So that's really a good way to get people like up and talking too. And it's funny because people will kind of grumble about it at first. And it will be like, everybody get up. And they're like, but she's like, get up. It's gonna be
They
fun.
hate it.
I'm serious. I'm serious, guys. Let's all stand up.
Yeah. And then everybody always has a great time and they're very happy that they did it.
So So basically, and this is great because Elena, you had brought it up, and so did you now, Kelsey, the fact of, so it's not just you're going and just pitching a friend, because obviously if there's over 50 people there and you're only pitching 10 people, you have other ways of getting to mingle and interact with based on the different activities, everything from the red flag, green flag to this or that. Are there different other activities besides those things that you guys do? Because you kind of start looking, who am I matching up with that we have similar tastes with? So is there other things that you guys do besides some of those games?
I mean, I think we keep it we have so many pitches now, and to get through 10 pitches, you got to be pretty efficient. So we really try to take a certain number of pitches. Hey, take a little bit of a break. And the thing that we do is I like to play a lot of fun singable music, right? Things that get people singing or get people like kind of wanting to dance at their chair. And you kind of can just see some on somebody's face if they're enjoying it. So that's why Kelsey, even said DJ earlier. It's a little bit of it is that, like in between pitches, we'll give everybody time to go, hey, go refill your drinks. If you want to go have something to eat at the bar, place time to go pick orders. Then we play some music, it could be anything from hip hop to R&B to 90s pop, and get everybody kind of dancing and moving. And you can see, but we don't really veer away from too much of the games, just because the 2 hour time slot when you're getting 10 pitches going on, it could be, it could be tight. It could be tight.
And you're looking at what, 3 to 5 minutes or something like that? Is that typically what it is? You have like
Roughly
3 to 5 minutes?
Yeah, roughly about 3 to 5 minutes per pitch. Some go low, but some go, you rehearse 5 minutes in your head, and then when you're actually reading it, it could be 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, with nerves and everything.
Yeah,
like
with
a minute and a
yeah,
half. This is my friend. Beat him.
Yeah. So it could be 3 to 5 minutes, but yeah.
Very cool. Have you guys seen any proof to the pudding? Like, have you started seeing people already, like, kind of like started dating because of it, or created new friend groups and stuff like that because of Pitch a Friend?
I mean, Elena, and I'll give you a second to answer this, but I mean, I think I've noticed that there are becoming groups that come to every Pitch a Friend, and that are there every time. I've personally had some of my friends meet some people at Pitch a Friend that have had, that they've come to trivia now. So we've had that. And then at Primrose, like our second event at Primrose, we had like 3 or 4 people go on a personal date at the bowling alley, right? So Primrose will, leave us a few lanes open if anybody wants to, have a date after the show. So yeah, I mean, we've kind of hit all spectrums of it, but if anything else, it's a great way. A lot of people have been meeting a lot of new people. So
Yeah, no, and I know that I think the third Pitch a Friend event that we had hosted that was at Primrose, I recognized one of the guys from the first one that he came to, and I was like, "Oh, like so good to see you again. Like, did you like meet anyone?" And turns out that he had met a girl at the first Pitch a Friend event, and they had coordinated to meet up at this second one to kind of hang out and keep talking. So they had like their own little date at Primrose Lanes at the event. And again, I guess my friends did a great job presenting our event, but he managed to also go on a date as well with one of the girls who was pitched. So it does work. It just does. I think sometimes what we're missing is the conversation afterwards. But once you are able to talk and the people start to mingling and they actually kind of walk up and start conversations, it does work pretty well.
And we always end it with the pick a side too, so that then people are already up and moving and used to talking to people and different people around them and things too. So then hopefully then when we're like, okay, thanks for coming, the event is over, then they stay talking to whoever they were talking to during that game.
Yeah. No, I love that. That's awesome. Out of curiosity, Kelsey, do they give you like kind of like format or information like because obviously you're doing a Pitch a Friend, which is done in other states, in other cities. Do they also provide you kind of like, hey, this is what a typical format is? How much of that do they let you skew from that versus, hey, this is what we usually do, this is what we like for you to continue doing, or do you have some flexibility there?
It's nice. It's very plug and play. So there's a Canva that's got all of the templates and things which we can customize to the venue's colors and according to their brand and everything too. But the website's got all the automations built in that's linked to the emails when people sign up, and all those things that's all pre-done. So I don't have to change any of the wording or anything on that. And then for the actual event, yeah, there's like SOPs for here's how run of show goes, but everybody kind of does it a little bit different. And I'm in a Slack channel with all of the different organizers in the different cities. So it's fun because we're all swapping different ideas all the time. Like just the other day, actually, somebody went on and asked, how are you guys getting people to continue the conversation after the event is over? And I threw out, I was like, well, in Orlando, we've been ending on the pick a side game. And they were like, oh, that's such a good idea. Would you mind sharing your deck with me? And so there's a lot of brainstorming that goes on within the Pitch a Friend City organizers group as well.
I love that. That's like a whole nother little community right there. I love how all that goes. All right. So one of the things that I like to ask, and I know obviously we're talking about Pitch a Friend, so but I kind of want at the same time, I'm all about manifestation and putting things out into the universe. So I want to be able to give you guys an opportunity for yourself, but then I also want you to give me your Pitch a Friend, like what you want to put out into the universe for what you want for Pitch a Friend Orlando. So what is it that you want for Pitch a Friend and also for yourself?
I think for Pitch a Friend Orlando, I want it to continue growing, but with the reputation that it is a fun and inclusive place that works to meet people. So I really hope that we get more success stories in the future of people, able to enter actual relationships and then kind of be able to say, hey, it was because of Pitch a Friend and because I was able to go to that event. And I think for me, it's also just watching this be able to grow bigger and bigger I think it's great to help facilitate people to find potentially the love of their life. It's like playing Cupid a little bit. So being able to know that I have done that for somebody, I think is just great. And I would love that for Pitch a Friend Orlando and for us as a team.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think what I want to see Pitch a Friend is just, I just wanted to have it to grow and more become of a household name in Orlando. When people say like, "Hey, what are you guys doing on this Friday night?" "Oh, we're going to Pitch a Friend." Somebody's like, "Oh, duh," of course. So and that allows us naturally just to be more selective with venues, right? From an operations side, we've had trouble. Sometimes sound. We got to work with whatever the bar we're working with their sound system. So, being able to get into more venues, bigger venues. I mean, the ultimate thing is I would love to host a show at like Kia Center. That would be so much fun. So if you're talking to me to put something out into the universe, I would love for it to be big enough where we do a Kia live show. And I think people around Orlando, if it just got enough name, people would support it. And myself, go ahead. Yeah, go.
No, I was going to say, like, I'm thinking even like first step, maybe like Plaza Live.
Right.
In Bumby, because that's like a perfect size little venue. It's a little bit bigger, and then you kind of go Plaza Live, Additions, UCF's arena, to the Kia Center. That's like your three tier.
I think we have the group to do it. And, and lastly for myself, I mean, I just want to keep hosting events around Orlando. I mean, Kelsey said it when you asked her about the beginning. I just love being on a microphone. That's what I do. So I just always want to keep doing it in Orlando and keep being a household name.
It is really fun to talk into a microphone. I also thoroughly enjoy it.
As you have a nice microphone there.
And the crowd loves you both. So it's great. And I'm happy just to be in the background.
Kelsey's like, just don't make me host. That's what I want to put out into the universe.
I mean, literally, Kelsey and I were having coffee. She was like, would you be interested in this at all? And I was like, Kelsey, you handle the social media and I'll be on the mic. We got it. This thing will be huge. And, Elena has kind of turned it into a rocket ship because she's the perfect host of it. I mean, so it's perfect.
It's a great team dynamic for sure.
So Kelsey, what is it that you want to manifest for Pitch a Friend Orlando?
I think I just really want to see this community continue to be on the path of being supportive and wholesome and positive and unserious and just kind. So if people are feeling all of those things from our events, then we're really doing something right. And that can only lead to really beautiful things. So I hope we have more of that.
No, I love that. And I'm going to manifest something for you guys, that everyone does know what this is in Orlando. It becomes a regular activity for other people to either, if you're single, try pitch a friend, bring a friend and go pitch a friend, go mingle, meet other people. If anything, I'm going to manifest, do stuff in real life and actually meet people, not just on your phone. That's my manifestation for you, because that is the best way. Because like you said, Jordan, when you start meeting and interacting with other people, you start getting to know them. And then as you start doing things and you go into different activities, maybe doing other pitch a friends at other locations, therefore now you're going at different places, you're meeting other people in different places, you now create a larger, friend group of people that you get to know, and who doesn't want more friends and more people, good people in their lives. So I'm definitely excited for you guys. I love the fact that I have the three of you and we're able to chat, because it does. I think that's kind of what makes it so successful, is a little bit of everything from each one of you. What advice do you have for someone wanting to start something?
Yeah, so like I said, I'm about to turn 25 this year, and this is important, but I graduated college with a degree in art history, and I have decided to not continue my life with art history, and it's taken a turn. And something that I kind of fell into was hosting. It was never my idea to ever start hosting anything when I started doing trivia, and I fell in love with it. And I, not to toot my own horn, but I do think that I am pretty good at it, and it's something that I thoroughly enjoy doing. So that is now something that I am trying to pursue, to continue, just like Jordan, doing events, hosting events, kind of emceeing and that. And I think the biggest thing, and I know everyone says this, but it's to not be afraid to change your mind, and to not be scared of letting go of something that you have spent a lot of years doing. It doesn't negate all of the effort that you've put in, but sometimes you need a chapter, like you need the chapter to move on, even if it's really scary. And I was really scared. I had my parents had to pick me up, and I spent a week with them because I was so stressed about this change in my life. But it was for the better, and I feel better. And even though the future still is very scary, I'm way more excited about it than I was before, when I was still sticking with my art history, because that's what I graduated in. But it's kind of knowing when it's time to, hey, I think I should try something new, and I think it's time for a change.
I love that.
I read a quote that was everything that you want is on the other side of being uncomfortable, right? And when I moved down here during COVID, and knew nobody, and I got lucky to see a flyer of a trivia show on a wall, and started meeting the host at Fiddler's. He's my best friend Nick. Now he's my best friend, but never knew him. And 3 months into knowing him, he's like, "You seem like a fun guy. Do you want to host?" And I was scared to death, like Elena was talking about. I was scared to death. And then now it has been one of the most beneficial things. I have a friend group of, I have a massive friend group, and I know a ton of people here in Orlando, and it's all because I said yes to hosting a trivia show on Tuesdays here in Orlando, and it's manifested into Pitch a Friend, because I wouldn't have met Kelsey, and then I wouldn't have given Elena a show, because I wouldn't have had the show, and we wouldn't. I feel like if it wasn't for trivia, we wouldn't have been here. So I can always say, just do it. Just do it.
My advice would be really to just care about the mission, to really, really care about it, and to surround yourself with people that also care about it. Because it's really obvious when the energy that you're putting into something is authentic, and it's really obvious when it's not, and when it's being forced, or if you're doing it for the wrong reasons. So I think just kind of always returning back to your why, and remembering why you started it, and why it matters to you, and why you think it's important for the world to have whatever it is that you're working on. And that's just going to always lead to good places.
Yeah, no, it's a great North Star when it comes to that. I'm just kind of curious, since you guys do events and in all different versions, what are some ways that you have found to be successful, either social media, word of mouth? Like obviously word of mouth is huge, but do you have any tips or tricks of what has been, I guess, successful ways to get the word out about your events when you're doing it? Like, is there something that you guys have noticed that has been very successful that other people can probably either learn from, whether for their own brand or business, to try to get the word out about themselves?
I mean, I can take it. Kelsey, I'll let you answer the social media part, but I always say work with what you got, and the people, and the people there make their time enjoyable. and they are going to be your natural marketing material. So, I mean, we could post everything on social media. We could look at all the algorithms. But I think one thing that we've done, at Fiddler's Green on Sundays and then now at Pitch of Friends is we make it a place where people want to be, and that sparks like wildfire, because that gets somebody going, hey, you should be here, and it gets to the right person and they have the platform to take it off. And so make it a place where people want to be. And I think even if you have three people, make sure that those three people are happy, because they're going to bring, if they just multiply it by two, after 10 events, you're going to have a real nice crowd. And so I think just take care of the people you got and treat them with respect and love, and love on them, and they're going to love on you back by inviting more people.
I want to just add something quickly because it ties to what Jordan said before Kelsey does the social media aspect. And it also kind of goes off of what Kelsey said about your mission. If you genuinely want to be there and are treating the people who come to see you like you want to be there, and it shows that you have a passion for it, they're going to have so much fun. I've had people come up to me asking like, hey, are you hosting trivia anywhere else? Do you do anything else? Like, we love to come and hang out with you. So I think it's being authentic and taking care of your regulars that show up is really important, because like Jordan said, they spread good word of mouth. They keep bringing their friends who then bring their friends. And it's because you're making the place enjoyable and you're being authentic.
Yeah. And to Jordan and Elena's point, that's really the reason that we're successful. Like, I was posting on social media, I was using all of the templates and everything. I was doing reels and all of everything that you're supposed to do, and doing and running ads and all of that. And it really wasn't until word of mouth, until it really caught on that people are coming to these events and they're having fun, and people see that we're having fun doing it too. That it's not just that we're putting on a fun event. It's like, we're doing it because we really care about it and we think it's a good time. So that's what really catches on. And then that's when, like, Emily with Crash Landing Social and Kaylee with Neverboard in Orlando, they saw that as well. And then they just felt really compelled to share that with the people in their circle and say, this is fun. I had a fun time. You might have a fun time with this too. And then it really spread like wildfire from there. So I really appreciate like anybody that's ever come to an event and told somebody that they
Yeah.
it. So thank you.
And nobody has more fun than us three. Like, we could be doing it for ourselves, like just
You have
us
a
three hanging out. And I think, we honestly keep ourselves entertained, and we enjoy doing this. And so, like, I think somebody said it earlier, that breeds it. It's like, and almost to your podcast, it's like when you get a good sandwich, when you eat a good sandwich, you tell everybody about that sandwich that you eat. And it's the same thing. It's what we're trying to accomplish.
No, I get it. I totally understand what you're all saying, because so aside from obviously doing the podcast, you have no idea probably who I am, but I also own a sandwich themed clothing brand. Hence the reason I asked the sandwich question. So when I do events and I talk sandwiches and I do sandwich things and I sell my stuff and people wear my stuff, like, that's the thing that I love, is that word of mouth. But it's right. It's the idea of the passion. And it's also the fact of, from me doing events so many times, like when my mom would sometimes ask me, because I'm Spanish, my mom would be like, how many people came? And I'm like, the people that needed to come came. Those are the ones that came. Like, I never looked at numbers of like, hey, I'm upset because only 10 people showed up to my event. No, those are the 10 that needed to be there. And I appreciate those 10. Because it's exactly what you say. It's like, it's not about like the numbers are going to come and they're going to happen, but you basically appreciate the ones that are actually there. Because, and a lot of times, me as a clothing brand, I used to tell people I was bad at business because I did not sell anything at my events on purpose, because I wanted people to be there to support my event, to go eat sandwiches at a place. And I just wanted to interact and create that community, because that's what you guys are doing. You're building a community where other people come, that just like they're now intermingling and going just because it's a fun time, just like trivia or anything like that, because it's like, hey, I want to do this. I want to meet other friends. I want to meet other people. And it's a great way to be able to do it, a safe way to be able to do it, and a structured way, like you said, Elena, that you can actually do these things and actually get to meet other people. So with that said, where can people follow you if they want to pitch a friend and they're like, man, I'm amped, I can't wait to tell my friends, like, pitch my friend? Where can people follow? how can they maybe even sign up and pitch a friend? Give me the details, so while people are listening and they're scrolling on their phones, they're actually maybe signing up and following and doing all that to find out when the next event is.
Yeah.
Take it away, Kelsey.
So our Instagram is pitchafriend.orlando, and no hyphens or anything. And then our website is pitchafriend.com/Orlando. And that's also at the link in our bio in our Instagram too. So right now it's just Instagram, and then there is a link to our website in our bio as well. And we'll always post a bunch of things on the story and recaps from events and things like that too. So that's a good place to go to see in real life, like what it looks like to attend an event in Orlando or to get pitched or to pitch someone. But then our website is where you'll go to actually sign up and read more about it all.
And all of that will also be on the show notes. So if you're like looking online and you're like want to see about it, you can go and you'll be able to see all the clickable things to be able to do all that. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to come chat with me today and talk to me. I love what you guys are doing. I want to attend I want to attend, but I also need to find some of my single friends and help pitch them, because I got, it's one of those things where I think it'd be a fun thing to be able to do and just kind of meet new people, because I always love meeting new people as well. So I think this will be a really fun thing what you guys are doing. So I'm really thankful that you guys brought this to Orlando. I always hear the joke that Orlando is always like 5 years behind on the trends. Well, guess what? We're not. So I'm glad you guys have Pitch a Friend Orlando here. That's our show for today. Thank you so much to Kelsey, Elena, and Jordan for being on and being my guest today. If you guys go, please spread the word, take a selfie, tag me. I want to be able to share and tell people that they've actually heard it and went to the show and actually got to go and do a Pitch a Friend. If you enjoyed the show, make sure to subscribe. If you want to support my brand, check out Deli Fresh Threads. Thank you. Until next time, keep eating sandwiches and follow your passion. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.